Hi, Steve Adams here from Visual DJ, and today I am going to go through the 5 keys to analytics in the flow with Tableau. The first key is to make sure you got the right data and that your data is shaped well. In order for that to happen, your team needs to be able to do the data blending, the data joining, the unioning and using relationships effectively and quickly so that they can work their way through any type of question that's coming their way. The last thing you want them to have to do is to say, sorry, I need to go back to the data provider before I can move on to the next part of my analytical questioning. So those ad hoc questions need your team to be skilled up artfully and fluently in being able to reshape the data and connecting other data in order to answer the questions that are being posed of them. That's the most fundamental piece. If they don't have that, the rest of the 4 pieces of the puzzle fall apart. The second one is make many metrics. Now, it's quite obvious that you're going to make the right metrics with regards to the key performance and indicators that you're going to be using, but other calculated fields require your team to identify very rapidly, very quickly, the top X, for example, for some analysis, or you may want to look at how much of my data set covers 80% of the output or 20% of the output, etc., etc. So you need your team to be fluent in creating calculated fields in order for them to be able to do analytics in the flow rapidly and easily. The third key point then is to have a mastery of the marks card. This enables you as an analyst to change the shape of the visual that you're creating in order to go to the next level or to ask the question in a different way. If you might not be getting any insights from something, so you might want to refactor it. You might want to bring in some additional information onto the marks card, maybe perhaps changing the mark type itself, in which case you might also want to start playing with the pills on the shelf and be comfortable in doing that. So to have this fluidity of changing what's on the marks card and also what's going into the shelves is a key part of being able to do analytics in the flow. And lastly, you want to drill down to insights. And in order to do that, you need to do 2 things. Firstly, build dashboards. That may sound obvious, but I'm talking now about analytical dashboards and not the dashboards that you necessarily want to present to your end user. You can create dashboards so easily and so quickly in Tableau. At this point though, forget about the format, forget about the look and feel. You're wanting to actually pull together multiple worksheets so it's easier for you to ask more complex questions by clicking on things on that analytical dashboard. You might even want to be throwing in some set actions and some parameter actions to actually ask those questions really deeply and quickly. Once you actually identify how you want to present, then you go back and you think about how you're going to present that to your end user and bring that into a more standardized format so that they will know how to navigate through and do the usual things that they will need to use. Secondly, and lastly then, don't forget to copy and paste your worksheets. When you're analyzing something in the flow, you tend to drill down and you might get away from a particular point, which was a very useful presentation manner to present to people to help back up the story, because actually what you want to be doing is documenting your own thought processes as you go through this analysis in the flow, because it's very useful to present that thought process to people so that you present why and what and how you got to your conclusions, and that will help you back up the decisions that you're looking to be made in your organization. So just to recap then, the 5 keys to analytics in the flow. The most important one, in my opinion, is number 1, because if you don't have fluidity of access to the right data, then it's going to be very difficult for your analysts to be able to do that analysis in the flow, and it's going to take a lot longer than it needs to. So make sure that they're up to speed with how they can change the shape of data and connecting different data sources and blending those different data sources to speed up that whole process. I hope you found that useful.